What's going on, Russell? Wait for a few people to hop on. Um, yeah, we'll try this new thing. So, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. um, kind of started off since it's my first one. Um, starting a sobriety chat. Uh, basically, my goal is to uh, help people out that don't really, uh, you know what direction to go, or um, I guess, for example, my story, my little background, just to start it off, would be I've been sober almost 5 years, coming up in March. Recovering alcoholic, big time. Um, 3 DUIs. Uh, Typically drink about a gallon of vodka a night. Um, yeah, I mean, I was really hard into the liquor, not so much beer. Um, One story, for instance, on my second DUI, um, I kind of I was driving a tow truck to a scene of an accident. Um, the cop stopped me and went from there. That was my second DUI. So, um, it's hereditary in my family. So I mean, being sober for almost 5 years is a really big accomplishment to me. Um, and I mean, I've got probably 8 or 9 people lined up. Obviously, I have Great Dane Barbecue coming on tonight. I've got about 2 months worth of, chats with different people, from Johnny Scoville to Lacey over at Bombshell Hot Sauce. So we're gonna go. Um, I'm gonna probably go through my list. I've got about 8 different questions. We might get off topic a little bit, but like I said in a couple of my posts, this is for 18 and older, because some things might get a little dark. It might get a little um, out there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know these people's stories, but we're about to find out. So just be prepared for some different stories down the line within the next couple months. Uh, Trying to do this every Wednesday. I just picked up a new job, doing something else, but still at the same company. So the times may change, but I'm still gonna go for Wednesdays. So we're gonna bring in Russell and start talking to him. What's going on, man?
Uh, I'm here to talk about being sober, man. Thank you for having me.
Congrats on 6 months. It's a big
Five and
deal.
a half.
It's a big deal. I mean, even your first day is a big deal. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um, well, just no, I lost him. Where'd he go?
No. Uh, can you see me now?
No,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you disappeared. It said you
Can you
left.
see? What's that?
It said you left.
Um, well, I had the earbuds in, and everything was going through the phone, so I had to take them out. And so it took a moment to disconnect. But again, thank you for having me on. Um, it's a great thing you're doing. Um, so
Trying to. I'm waiting. I don't see your video. I can hear you, but I don't see your video.
how about I jump off and jump back on?
Oh, let's try that.
All right.
I appreciate everybody hopping on with me tonight. I'm hoping this goes really well. Um, and I reach, not only do I reach out to people, but a lot of people, there we go. A lot of people get the message from people like Russell, talking about their sobriety story. So to start off, Russell, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself so people know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Russell Jonassen. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm better known as Great Dane Barbecue. Um, I recently landed my dream job working in a barbecue store. Um, I was a painter for years. Um, have three beautiful children and an awesome wife. And I've just recently become a member of the Sons of Fire Canada, which is a chili head thing, to say the least. But yeah, I've been sober now for 5.5 months. December 13 will be 6 months for me. Um, One of the things that has helped me out a lot is drinking non-alcoholic beers, um, just so that it tricks my body into knowing that I'm still consuming something. I was also put on a medication to help me with it as well. Um, but yeah, I started drinking when I was 14.
So
I'll be
one of my questions is actually, how did you realize you had a problem?
um, drinking anywhere from 8 to 12 beers every day. You know that there's a problem. Um, I called myself an alcoholic for years because I was drinking copious amounts daily, probably for the last oh 20 years heavily. I've been drinking every day. Um, More so when I split from my last partner of 8 years, engaged to be married. Um, just life went to hell in a handbasket.
And
Um,
so I need to just make this go away. So drinking,
Drink.
I thought
Yep.
it was interesting. Um, I mean, and like I said in the beginning of this, I wasn't a beer drinker. I drank liquor and I drank about a gallon of vodka a night. And I don't mean like the good stuff. I mean like McCormick or Caliper or, just the cheap $6 bottles of liquor.
Yep.
And I
Um,
told myself, I even wrote down some things. It was always I've had a hard day, I deserve a drink, or whatever I could tell myself to, I guess, compensate for me wanting to drink.
yeah.
So, um, what discuss a little bit about your past with your drinking. If it be jail, bar fights, I mean, it's an open topic here.
Um, Never got arrested. Should have been multiple times. Um, very few bar fights. I was considered to be the happy drunk. um, I could, uh, well, I used to be able to down a 26er or a liter of rum and then go out to the bars dancing close the bars at 2 o'clock in the morning, um, every weekend, but drinking every night in between. Um, more, more so beer. Got to the point where, you know, I found a bar that I could work at. Um, that the owner didn't mind, having a beer with me while I was working. So uh, it just got to the point where, you know, drinking more and more, drinking everything. Um, you know, you see people, when I joined up on Instagram, I saw people, doing shots of tequila. So, hey, why not? I went and got tequila. I went and bought scotch. Like, I'm talking, you know, the mid to high end stuff. And, when that should last you, oh, a couple of months, just taking the occasional drink, I was buying it every week.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so,
have you, since you've been sober, have you found any triggers? I mean, like when I became sober, that first year, actually even that first 6 months was really hard because I quit back in March. So then come August and September when football started, it was really hard for me that first year because of football. Or even when you grill, I know a lot of you guys like to drink when you grill. Um,
yep.
is it getting easier, or I mean, do you still have triggers? Do you know what they are?
Um, I'm more focused on the reason why I've quit. Um, my liver was fatty and enlarged, um, causing me health issues. Um, they were doing a CAT scan on my legs to see why they were swelling and hurting so much. But what they did find was that I have cirrhosis of the liver. I have two beautiful daughters that one day I want to walk down the aisle. So my focus overpowers any triggers that I can think of. And, if I have a trigger, I grab my non alcoholic. Um, it's a third of the calories. Um, and, it's got the taste, the flavor. So my mindset says I'm drinking a beer, but like uh, 15, 20 minutes ago, I just drove through a ride program. 6 months ago, I'd be locked up. Um, being a painter, we were painting all day. Some of us had beers in our lunch bags. After work, hit the beer store, grab a couple of travelers. I drove 40 minutes between the shop and my house. So, that's two beer in a coffee cup on the 401, which is Canada's busiest highway, pounding back beers. Um, it was, second nature. You needed to have that addiction compensated for in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So
And I
come home.
when I became sober, I actually switched to candy. And I still do. I ate a lot of candy. So I replaced the alcohol with sweets.
Yep.
And I don't understand. I mean, I was pounding back a pound of like gummy bears. I mean, I had to confiscate it somehow because
Yep.
I was really bad. Uh, so besides the drinking your non-alcoholic beer, what other things help you cope with your triggers?
Uh, my kids.
Yep. I could,
My kids, my wife, the support that they've given me Um, Helps me, combat my triggers. Um, I've noticed that I haven't been grilling as much. I haven't been posting as many videos. The end of my videos is, cheers and let your smoke roll. I'd always have a drink in my hand. Um, I don't know if barbecuing that much was a trigger, uh, but I will get back into barbecuing heavily, and
Well,
hopefully sooner than later.
I agree. A lot of people, I mean, you feel manly when you're grilling and you're drinking with the guys, and you can do that without having a drink. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's hard to adjust.
Well, pour this into a glass, and everyone thinks you're having a beer. You don't need to tell them it's a non-alcoholic, and they make some really good stuff out there too.
You should. I mean, honestly, a lot of people should support your sobriety, and that's what I'm
Oh yeah.
trying. The support system that you have, honestly, even like with people that are on here right now, like Spicy Jacks and
Yes.
Steph, I mean, they should not judge you because you're doing right for yourself. So
Yeah.
fuck them if they don't agree with you drinking the non-alcoholic beer and grilling. You know what I mean? So I think it shouldn't make a difference if you're drinking a non-alcoholic beer, still hanging out with guys. They should still support you, and that's kind of what this is all about.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you have a giant support system.
everyone does support me. Or all, they are proud of my accomplishments. Um, and I know that there's a lot of love out there. And since I've quit drinking, there's probably a little bit more love because I have combated one of those villains in my life, to take that away. And I know that, both on social media and in my real home life, there's been a lot of support. And I know that there's a few people that I can reach out to if I need to talk and say, hey, man, I'm feeling like I need to go out and drink because something this happened, and they'll just chat with me.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm trying to push on this. I guess you could say show or the sobriety chat. I mean, if people want to reach out to anybody that I have as far as on a guest or even to me, I
Oh,
mean, I'm more than willing to talk to them about it. I mean, I'm
yep.
here, and that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to help people that, I mean, even if they don't think they have a drinking problem, and they just want to talk to, just something. That's what, I mean, my DM box is always open. Um, and like
As
I
is
said,
mine.
got quite a few guests coming on. Um, some bigger name people, and it I want people to get something out of the story. I actually wrote down a quote before I hopped on here with you, and it said, "One day you will tell your story on how you overcame what you went through, and it will be someone else's survival guide." That
If
was
we can help one person.
exactly, and that's kind of what I'm just so. Um, During this recovery that you're going through, as far as sobriety goes, I know you have some accomplishments that you've already done and succeeded. I mean, you're doing it day by day. But I mean, what's the biggest
And
one so far for you?
for me, yep. Um, the detection of the cirrhosis of the liver was purely by accident. They weren't looking for it, just happened to show up on the CT scan. So that right there is first and foremost is my saving grace. Um, I was told that I would have anywhere between 5 and 10 years to live if I can continued on the path I was on. So that was a huge eye opener for me. Um, and I know there's a lot of people out there that won't or don't go to doctors because they're afraid of what they're going to say.
Yeah.
The hard thing is to, if you feel like, for me, that was an enlarged liver. It was huge. It was fatty. It was, you know, it was wrecking me, destroying me from the inside out. I know mine is a medical reason why I quit, but regardless, um, I managed to escape a few situations. I was pulled over for doing 110 and an 80 in a construction zone while workers were present. $300 fine. I was full. I had just come from league bowling and drinking my face off, jumped in my vehicle, driving that 40 minutes again, down the 401, drunk. I got a $300 fine for the speeding. That was it. I got lucky.
You could have killed.
I could have killed someone. I could have killed myself. I could have went to jail right there and then for impaired. I knew that I probably would have blown over 6 times the legal limit because we were drinking shots. We were doing like chasing with beer, chugging beers. It was like a party. Another time, I went over to a coworker's house. We downed a liter of Fireball. I drove from his house to my house, which is 15 minutes through town. 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, so it still wasn't that late. I currently don't have a railing on my front step. I took out the wrought iron railing with my van. These things, you look at every day.
Yeah. And it's a reminder that I could be I could not be standing here. Yeah.
Yeah. Last night, I know I should have done something about it. I was behind a vehicle and they were going over the median lines on either side on a double lane highway, increasing, decreasing their speeds. It was an impaired driver. I should have done something about it. I didn't. I didn't hear of any accidents, touch wood. But, I was that guy one time. I should have called and done something about it because maybe that would have opened their eyes and saved their lives. But I mean, that's a hard situation to be in.
When you like a lot of the things that I wrote down as far as did you have to tell yourself that you needed a drink? Like, did you have to compensate by telling yourself, well, I did this or I did this? I mean, I notice a lot of people that are like on a daily, they drink, but they don't want to admit that they're an alcoholic because they have a legit reason to drink that day. You know what I mean? They compensated by saying, well, it's the weekend. I drink.
I don't have to work today. I'll drink. My kids are stressing me out. I need a drink. I'm unemployed. I need a drink.
My life is
is not what I want it to be. I need a drink. Like, I'm not afraid to say this. I'm a product of alcoholic parents.
Me too.
Both my mother and father were drinkers. and alcoholics. Um, I don't know if they ever admitted it to themselves that they were. Um, but, I have to make my life and admit to myself, yes, I am an alcoholic. There is no, I was. No, I am. You just can't, you know, wake up and say, I'm recovered. It's a daily thing. I mean, I'm 5.5 months in, and every day it's a struggle.
Well, I mean,
Um,
I still get the urge. I mean, I'm not gonna fool anybody. I still get the urge to drink. I
yep.
mean, there are days where even if it's hot and summertime and vodka and lemonade, I mean, it's just I get urges.
Wonderful. It's a
Even
wonderful drink for
after
a hot summer day.
people 20 years sober still get urges. It's not going to go away. We are recovering alcoholics. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, and it will not go away. I mean, it is
Nope.
what it is. But you got to take it one day at a time, just like everybody says.
Yep.
And I mean, my wife's been sober longer than I have by I think a few months because she quit drinking when she was pregnant. So it's really easier when you do have a support system like your spouse.
Yep.
No, I've been pregnant. I was pregnant before you.
But a lot of people don't have that support system. And I mean, I've reached out to a couple people and I said, "Hey, do you think you have a drinking problem?" No, but I could see it. But
Yeah.
that's my place. I'm there. I ask if you
Yep.
want to talk about it. Hey, I mean, I'm more than willing to listen, but I can't say you're an alcoholic. It's not my place. So
Nope. The only person that can say that you're an alcoholic is when you are looking in a mirror and saying it to yourself.
yeah.
I have little notes in my van, in my bathroom, my kitchen, my living room, and all they say on them is, I will quit drinking. It's a daily reminder to me that I will quit drinking. Um, right now, I have quit drinking uh, for 5.5 months. Um, it's a struggle. I wake up and I see my three beautiful children, and I will say to myself, I will quit drinking. Like, my inspiration is I want to be there for them.
I mean, that's exactly what happened with my third one. My son was not even a year,
Only a
and
couple months old.
yeah, and I got mine, and I walked into the house, I dumped the rest of the bottle of vodka, looked at him, looked at her, and haven't touched it since. So, I mean, the kids and a lot of people will say that you can't quit for your spouse or your kids, or you have to want to quit for yourself. I agree with that. But
Yep,
look at them daily, reminding yourself, this is why I'm doing it. It helps. I mean, yeah,
it does.
you can quit for yourself, but that should help looking at, the things that mean most to you in life.
I don't know how I wasn't.
But,
I have.
you know, I'm still doing it for me because I want to be in their life. And, you can't do that if you've drank yourself to death, or, um, there's certain things you can't do with your children if you're drunk all the time. I know with the Christmas season, we want to go out and drive around and take a look at the lights. Um, I wouldn't be able to do that unless um, I'm not drinking. I'd have to plan to say, okay, I'm only going to have one drink before, from getting off work or whatever to the time we go out to do our little tour for the lights. But I had to have that one drink. And then when you get home, it's binge drinking. I got to get caught up to where I should be.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the reality of it.
I mean, I'm relating to everything you're saying. Or we would go on a Christmas walk, and I would have a cup full of and whatever I had in the fridge. Literally, so I had it on me, and in a to-go cup. I mean, it was that bad. I could not go anywhere without a drink. I mean, I didn't. It's really shitty because I didn't realize that I was an alcoholic. Like, I didn't want to tell myself I have a drinking problem because I would always compensate it with something like, I busted my ass all week. I deserve this. I deserve to drink. It was just stupid, and I don't know why I did it. You know what? It's just you can't explain it.
Mine wasn't, I busted my ass all week. Mine was, I busted my ass today. I was drinking 8 to 10 beers. Before I quit, I was up to, drinking a dozen, or, doing shots, doing a 50-50 mix of tequila and hot sauce, like just on live videos. Yeah, it was pretty painful at times.
It's god awful.
Well, we call it prairie fire, but you're not supposed to do a 50-50. And, I was doing some pretty nasty hot sauce. It was some of the hot sauce that people make to try and kill somebody that's a vinegar sauce. So it was all heat and vinegar and no flavor.
Well, that's a good.
And well, on Saturday, I did a dropper of the late for work Mountain Dew.
Yep.
That is an alcohol based tincture.
I know.
And I didn't realize how actually nasty that tasted. It was the alcohol that, I wasn't used to, even though it was only a little dropper that big. But, it didn't sit right.
And I mean, the smell of it, now I can't even walk by somebody that just my stomach curls when I just walk by, let's say, a person that drank the night before, and I see them and they walk by and get a whiff of it. That's
the person that's hungover.
Yeah. All the good. Well, I got one last question for you, and then we'll wrap it up. Any advice for anybody trying to quit or become sober?
There's lots of things you can do. Non-alcoholics. Even if you drink one beer and then 3 of these and call it a night, try it. Wean yourself off. I'm not going to say quit cold turkey. Quitting cold turkey could cause other problems. For me, that's what my doctor actually had me do. Was with the medication, I was allowed to drink 1 alcoholic beverage, and then I could drink as much of this as I wanted, which is the non-alcoholic. And I got to the point after a month of taking the medications, month and a half of taking the medication, that I didn't need the medication. So I eliminated the medication. At that time, I also eliminated that 1 alcoholic drink and just went straight to the non-alcoholic. And right now, I'm weaning myself off of it because I'm finding that I don't have the taste for it anymore. Another thing I would suggest if you want to quit, talk to someone. There's so many people out there, um, and reach out. It could be go to a church, talk to a pastor. It could be um, go to an AA meeting and reach out and just talk to somebody who's been there, um, because these people know what you're going through. Maybe not the pastor, but
You don't.
you don't know. When you're doing communion, that could be that little glass of wine that just put the rest of the bottle in the office. But no, talk. I guess the biggest thing I have to say, if you want to quit, it has to be you that wants to quit. You can't do it for anybody else but you. And if there's people in your family nagging you, you're going to be more reluctant to quit than you would be if, they back off and, if they say, when you're ready, I'm here.
Which
I know.
I mean, honestly, that like I said before, this is the whole reason why I'm doing this. I mean, I want
Yep.
people to reach out if they want somebody to talk to. I don't even care if they reach out to you. I don't care if
Yep.
they reach Spicy Jacks, or I know Borden Woodstock's on here. I mean, there's a lot of people, and obviously you guys are up in Canada. But I
Yep.
mean, like I said,
Doesn't matter.
my DM box is always open. The only reason why I started the sobriety chat thing was because I wanted people to realize that, if they do have and I don't even want to say a problem, but I mean, if
An
if it's
addiction.
bothering them, yeah, if it's bothering them and they want to try to quit, that's what this is for. I
Yeah.
mean, I want people to go back and watch this and just, hear the stories and understand that we all have been in the same situation that they're going through. I mean, I've been, like I said, 5 years coming up, and that first year was hell. I mean, it really was. It was hard. And I mean, it's not an easy road to go down at all. Um, it was just really, the football thing really killed me. I'm telling you, just sitting, relaxing, watching football, drinking is just what I used to do. Or even grilling. That in the beginning was hard. Just during the summer. I mean, all
Yep.
these different things will trigger it. You just gotta find a different thing to do. So,
Definitely.
um, no, I really appreciate you, sharing your story.
Sweets.
I know I recovered it with sugar.
Yeah,
Um,
but they weren't your wife's sweets.
no, no. A lot of people do go to capsaicin for sobriety, um, which it's crazy, but it does work. I know you do.
um, I think I was a capsaicin crazy before I quit drinking.
It's another vice. Um, I mean, I guess you could say the pain kind of helps. Not gonna lie, the pain
Yeah.
does. It takes your mind off of other things. I've got a lot of support with obviously 22 Mohawks. There's actually a gentleman on here right now. Um, that
Awesome
is,
organization.
he's part of the 22 Mohawk family. Helps with physical health and also mental health.
Yep.
I believe he's on here. Yeah. Steve Lunfit, he's on here. Um, Actually, his wife is the one that made that beer oil that I promoted on my Instagram, the CBD. So, um, even 22 Mohawks, man, they will help you even with an addiction. I mean, they're just open. And that's that's why I keep pushing that foundation.
Give me a couple.
And yeah, my wife's going to school for psychology. So here in a couple of years, she'll be licensed to deal with people that are messed up like me. uh, No, I do. I really appreciate you being the first one to come on here with me. Um,
Hey,
it
I'm honored.
I
Thank you for doing this.
think it's going to be a big thing. Um, I'm hoping it's going to be a big thing. I'm hoping I get more people reaching out. Even if I was actually talking to her. Even if it's an addiction, just any addiction, doesn't have to be sobriety.
Yeah,
Somebody wants to hop on here and talk about their addiction and their recovery. I'm more than willing to, listen because that group as well is huge.
that's a whole another story for me.
It is. And I mean,
Um,
if people want to talk about, I'm open to, sobriety is sobriety. If it's either from drugs or
yep.
alcohol, it doesn't matter to me. So if people want to hop on here, reach out to me. I can schedule it on a Wednesday. Like I said, I think I've got 8 or 9 guests. Um, Nico, Johnny, uh, Lacey from Bombshell Hot Sauce. I've got a bunch of people that are coming on every Wednesday. So I've got about a month and a half or 2 months worth already, which is awesome. So I'm going
And
to get
it
this.
seems like most of the people are capsaicing crazy.
Most of them, which but
We're
that
not saying that you have to be capsaicing crazy to be on the show.
no, but that's a lot of my followers. So
Yes.
hopefully, this actually reaches out to more. I'm not even trying to get followers on my Instagram. I want people to talk. Yeah, I don't
Yep,
even.
that's it.
I just want them to share their story, to reach out to other people. So uh, I
I
appreciate.
know we didn't talk about any of the stresses of being an alcoholic. Like, I know that this past summer and most of the spring, I didn't work. I was Mr. Mom while my wife worked. She had the job that had the benefits. I had to actually close my painting business due to the pandemic. And then I would get a job, get money in my pocket, spend it stupidly on expensive alcohols to the point where I quit that job, sit, drink the cheap stuff again, go back, find another job, um, you know, get the money, get the expensive stuff again, quit that job. You know, there was a pattern to it, and it all stemmed from alcoholism. Having to borrow money from my wife to buy alcohol, borrowing money from my friends to buy alcohol. Like, there's those stresses, and I don't miss having to go to my wife and say, "Excuse me, dear, but hey, can you buy me a case of beer? Or can you buy me a bottle?" Um, I don't miss those conversations anymore.
And that should honestly make you like it should put into realization that hey, you might have a drinking problem. I,
Definitely.
like if you can't afford it, you might want to try to do something different. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to run their life, but
Nope.
honestly, if you can't afford, because then it causes it opens up other doors. Like now, okay, I can afford my alcohol, but now my lights are going to get shut off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Alcohol only opens other, and I'm not saying anything bad about you can drink responsibly. Don't get me wrong. If
Oh,
that's what you can do, you can do it. Me as an alcoholic, I was not worried about my bills. I was worried about getting my next
that
buzz.
next drink. Yep.
And
I
it
hear you.
definitely, I mean, we, I was rock bottom. It was me and her, and it was I made sure I had my alcohol. Didn't give a shit about the bills. Um, and we went negative, and
Oh,
it just caused. Marriage. It caused problems in my marriage. It caused
Yep.
problems in my job.
I'm married yet.
But I mean, it was just it was. But I didn't care. I made sure I had the money to buy alcohol.
Yep.
So
I maxed out a credit card to the sum of $60,000. Like, that's a pretty big problem.
a little bit.
Yeah. You know,
That's a whole nother story because I'm assuming drugs are involved in that one.
no.
Just alcohol.
Alcohol, okay, there's a riding lawnmower, a new snowblower, a couple of other things that were necessities, but yeah, alcohol.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. It it's a vicious addiction,
Yeah,
and I mean, you know, it. I'm happy that I'm 5.5 months sober. I'm, you know, but it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be that next day,
and
and
it will be better. It will be better.
it will be better. Yep. I need to exercise more. Like, tell you the truth, tomorrow I've got the day off. So my trigger would be to sit around and, hey, it's my day off. I can have a few of these and put my feet up. Kids are at school. I don't have to answer to anybody. But I'm finding that I'm more helpful at home, doing little things on my days off that I usually didn't do. Um, you know, my relation with my kids is better. It's a work in progress. Um, we're opening up and communicating more, communicating with my wife more.
Oh,
So, you know,
and remember it because you're not drunk. From
yep,
I understand because I mean I had the problem. I would forget what we were talking about the night before
yep,
because I was drunk. You know what I mean? And we were talking about it, and what I actually realized is Sergeant Dunn's beef jerky would not have become what it is or even exist if I was still drinking. Everything that I've done since you guys have seen me on Instagram with the jerky, uh, 22 Mohawks, I mean, everything on my Instagram would have never been because of if I didn't become sober.
yeah,
So I'm really blessed about that because I've met a lot of really good people just from being, having my company. And I
yes.
mean, it will get easier, and I'm telling you, it will get easier day by day. It will get easier. I
And
mean,
it's going to take one day at a time.
that first year was probably my hardest one. It really was.
But, you know, just so that the new people know, this is I don't know, where is it? 0.05% alcohol volume. Right there. 0.05. I am not drinking a beer. I am drinking a near beer from the grocery store.
Well, the
Now,
same
mind
shape.
you,
But if you
it compensates, tricks my mind. It's allowing me to be 5.5 months sober. And yeah, I don't wake up with a hangover if I drink too many of them.
I don't miss that at all.
Nope, I don't miss getting sick, from drinking too much. Um, I don't miss people coming up to me and saying, "Do you know what you did last night?" We all have those stories.
Yeah, and there's some good ones, but
I'm queen of that.
my wife is, yep. I actually called my wife when she used to drink. I used to call her the parking lot queen because or driveway, because every time we pull in a driveway after leaving the bar, where she'd mark her territory and just puke all over the parking lot or driveway. That car ride home.
After
Yep.
I've already punched someone in the face.
Yeah. So
I've soiled a few taxis in my day. You know, that cup holder in the door will never be the same.
but
But
Shay, you coming on us? Like I said, anybody that wants to reach out to me, even if they want to be a guest or if they want to talk to me, just to try to become sober or some steps that might help. I did quit cold turkey. I don't suggest it. It was a whole different situation. Um, I honestly I don't know how I did it. Cold turkey, especially drinking a gallon of vodka at night. I have no idea. But it just, people can reach out to me or anybody that is going to be here.
I'm here as well, so.
So I appreciate you being the first guest.
Well, thank you.
We're jumping on next Wednesday. I believe I have Eris or Reese coming on, and then one every Wednesday. So if the time does change, I will let you guys know. But with the new job, but the next couple weeks it should be the same. So, Wes, I
Sounds
appreciate
awesome.
Congratulations on being over 5.5 months. Take one day at a time, man. And
Definitely.
5 years will be nothing. It's coming around. So I appreciate it,
It's
brother.
always the next day.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for having me, and I'm available to be, if you want to reach out to me as well. Um, I know I'm relatively fresh, as they would say, but I'm here. I will listen. I will help when I can. It's one day at a time.
You got a
So,
question right here, Russ.
what are some of the ways someone can support a friend or family member who are recently sober? Um, okay. If they are drinking non-alcoholic drinks, um, maybe have one or two in your fridge for when they come over. Um, you know, maybe have if it's a family member and you're having a lunch dinner, make it a non-alcoholic dinner so that everybody doesn't drink. Make them feel more appreciated. There's, you know, let them know that you're available. If they want to talk, you're there to listen. You don't have to say anything to them. One of the biggest things is to let somebody, um, when they're ready to talk, they're going to talk. And, they don't want to be combated. They don't want to be judged. They just want somebody who's going to be there and listen. I mean,
I
those
think
are.
going and doing something else, like on a Friday night, instead of going to the bar, go to a movie or
Have a game night.
go to the gym. Yeah. I mean, something else that throws off them wanting to go to the bar.
Break the pattern.
Or even to drink it. Like you go to a restaurant that doesn't serve alcohol. Stuff like that. It's the little things that you have to try to consider to help that friend out. Just if they're still new to it, you don't want them to think about alcohol. You don't want them to be triggered about drinking alcohol. So you got to find other avenues or ways to keep it out of their mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why were they drinking? When were they drinking? Change the habits, change the routines.
quite a bit. Working out with them, going to the gym. I mean, the gym's a big one. So I mean, that would be my advice as well. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna try to relax a little bit and then hit the bed since I worked last night and got home this morning. So Okay, thank you for coming on. I think it was a really good chat, and I appreciate you. So,
I appreciate you too, brother. Thank you very much.
yeah, everybody, thanks for hopping on. I hope everybody has a good night, and I will see you next Wednesday for the sobriety chat with Reese. So, you guys have a good night.
Good night.